Rev up your engines! Today I'm going to talk about one of the dumbest, dangerous things put in cars. Automatic start-stop systems. Well, the idiots in Washington decide that, hey, you need to get better gas mileage. So let's have cars that when you come to a stop, they turn themselves off and aren't running and they start up again. Now, at the max, you might get 2 or 3% better gas mileage, so it really doesn't affect much at all, except for one big thing. Not only does it make the cars more expensive to build, but it also makes them wear out faster. Now, you might see this little button. We'll start up this Jeep. Okay, and you see this little button here that says A off. Well, guess what? Make it a habit to push the A off. See how the light's on? Now, it won't turn the engine off when you come to a stop. It will continue to run like a normal car and won't keep turning itself off, starting itself up. Most of the wear on your engine occurs when you start the car, right? The oil's in the bottom of the engine. The oil pump has to spin, pump the oil to the top of the engine to start lubricating. Every time you shut the car off, the oil goes back down. It's got to be pumped back up again, right? Do you really want to be starting and stopping your car all the time? It will wear the engine out faster. It'll wear the starter out faster. It'll wear the battery out faster. You got to listen to this data. These are guys that are for this. Oh, it's a great idea. It's going to save the planet, right? Better gas mileage. They say, oh, it's not going to hurt your engine because it says normal engine bearings are typically designed to withstand 100,000 start cycles. So 100,000 start and stop, right? But they say these new bearings in the stop-start cars are designed to withstand 250,000 to 300,000 start cycles. So if you give them the benefit of the doubt, if it's 100,000 normal, even if they go 300,000, that means the bearings can start and stop 3 times more before they get damaged. But if you drive in the city all the time, come to a lot of stops, keep starting and stopping, you can start and stop 100 times more than normal. Okay? Your car keeps shutting off, turning on. Even if your engine bearings are a new design, it'll last 3 times as long. You're starting and stopping it 100 times more. So to me, you're really losing out. Maybe the bearings will last 3 times as much, but you're starting the car 100 times more. So do the math. It's going to wear your car out a heck of a lot faster than a car that you started and drive it around and don't keep turning it on and off. It's only common sense. Then, of course, there's the money and the complexity of these start-stop systems. This is why I tell people, if you got one of these, by law, you can't turn it off the way it was built from the factory permanently. So every time you start the car, you got to push the off button for the automatic start-stop. The light will come on, and then it won't turn itself on. But every time you shut off the car, go home, whatever, and then when you start it again, you got to push the button. Just get in the habit of doing that if you want your car to last a long time. Because they don't tell you this crap when they sell it. Oh, you're saving the planet with the start-stop system, right? Ha! And, of course, the batteries are going to wear out faster. Now, in this Jeep, it's got a real wacko design. If you look for the battery under the hood, good luck. There's no battery under the hood. There's a terminal. Now, the terminal here, that's used so you can jump start the car. You can jump start it. It shows you picture. You can jump start it. Because the actual battery of the car is under the passenger seat. But I lied. I should have said the actual batteries, because this stupid thing has 2 batteries. A regular battery and an auxiliary battery to help with the start-stop system. So, look at this pain in the butt. In order to access the battery, you got to move the seat the whole way up. And I mean the whole way up. All right, so we open the back door. Take out the mat, get out a giant screwdriver or some kind of pry bar. Snap off the cover and pull it out. We have to go back to the front to pick the top tang off. Then we move the seat back forward and hopefully it'll come out now. There it is. Stupid cover. What do we see under here? Not 1, but 2 batteries. All right. This is the auxiliary battery, which has a penny on it. Not a good thing. It could charge something out. Stupid to put a battery under a seat. And then we have the regular battery here. So now you got 2 batteries instead of 1. Now you're paying more for the system. It's got 2 batteries. And if you got to replace them, poo. The little tiny battery, it's not cheap. It's $139 for a new one. The big one will go from $250 to $350 depending on the quality of the battery. When you replace it, it's going to cost you more. And if you know anything about batteries, these 2 batteries work in tandem. So if one goes bad, generally the other one will go bad too. So you're really better off replacing them in pairs when they go bad. So there's $500-600 you got to throw away to replace 2 batteries instead of 1. To me, it seems like a real half-assed design, but And it is Chrysler, after all. Oh, I should say Stellantis. 2 batteries in this case instead of 1. Even if you only had 1, they are more expensive batteries because they got to keep starting the car. And guess what, people? They'll wear out faster. Now, you can keep them from wearing out faster. Just remember this simple trick. Start the car. You have to start it first. Then push the automatic off so the light goes on, and now it will not shut itself off while it's idling. It's that simple. Then your battery will last longer. Your starter will last longer. You'll spend less money maintaining the car, and at best, this thing will get 2 to 3% better gas mileage. That is it. And considering that this thing gets like 16 miles a gallon in stop and go traffic, 2 to 3% of 16 miles a gallon isn't diddly squat. Now you'll notice the start-stop feature is generally on bigger vehicles like this, or big trucks with V8 engines. And of course the stupid start-stop system doesn't affect gas mileage at all when you're driving on a highway, because you don't shut the car off while you're driving on a highway, right? So it has such a limited use, it's got so many negative side effects, it only makes sense. This is something that was made to comply with government regulations of better gas mileage, generally in big gas hogs like this, to make them appear to be green when they're not green at all. Now, I know some of you naysayers are saying, oh, Scotty, you're just exaggerating things. So the starter goes out. How expensive could it be to replace the starter? Well, it's a 4-wheel drive Jeep, so they got a V6 engine, but check this out. Not only is the starter $345, but it is 5.9 hours of labor. That's almost 6 hours of labor to replace it. So with what the Jeep dealers charge for labor, that is a $900 labor job. So $900 plus like $350 in tax. As you can see, replacing the starter is not a cheap thing on one of these. And believe me, it's going to wear out faster unless you push this little button to turn it off. And then it'll be a regular car. And it won't keep turning itself on and off hundreds of times during the week to save 2 to 3% gas mileage. But of course, even that $1,000-something repair is a spit in the bucket when your engine wears out faster. The piston rings, the bearings on the engine. Just price the replacement of one of these engines. Change out an engine, okay? It's a little over $2,000 labor. And then the engines, whoo-wee, they're insane. I mean, some guys will try used ones, take pot luck. You're looking at a small fortune, no matter where you find an engine. And if you take a gamble and get one of those remanufactured engines, you have no idea if it was rebuilt correctly, right? Guys that work in those places, a lot of times, they don't know what they're doing. I've seen so many rebuilt engines go out 20, 30,000 miles or less. I don't advise people to even use them unless they really know a guy who knows how to rebuild them. And there's less and less of those guys as time goes on. They're even older than me, and they've retired, and they're like, I'm not going to do that anymore. The new engines are too complex. They cost too much money. I don't get any business because people will get another car instead of replacing the engine. But of course, that just lays into the hands of the people building the vehicles. Planned obsolescence. They would love it that you buy another vehicle when your engine wears out. Now, it's not going to wear your engine out in 5 minutes. It's going to take years. But then, when it's worn out and you got to buy another vehicle, instead of continuing to drive a car like my 17-year-old Matrix that still runs like a clock, it does not have start-stop option on it, still gets 37 miles a gallon, doesn't burn any oil, right? They don't like cars like that. They like vehicles like this. Wear out faster, force people to buy new ones when things break down, and then if they don't want to buy a new one, pay extravagant repair bills because of the ridiculous design. Now, 2 batteries under the seat. Bad enough it's under the seat. They could have made a better design than that, right? But do they really care? No. They're thinking, how can we make them so this system works, but won't last too long? Well, we'll just stick another auxiliary battery in. None of this stuff makes any sense, really. Making sense isn't what car manufacturers are into. They're into making thousands and thousands of dollars per car. So they'll build in planned obsolescence, and then they'll say, well, the government made us do it to meet EPA. It's not our fault we have these start-stop systems. The government made us do it. So as I say, follow the money if you want to see the truth. And in this case, if you want to follow your money and leave most of it in your wallet, as soon as you start that car, shut off the auto start-stop function, and your car will last longer. You'll spend less money maintaining it, and you'll be happy, even though the manufacturers won't, because they want that baby to wear out as soon as it gets out of warranty. So that shuts the case on start-stop systems. Now you know all about them, so you can make a wise choice yourself, not waste your money, not wear your vehicle out faster, just because somebody says, oh, here's a great idea, why don't you use it? So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.